You're watching NFL Daily, and today's show is presented by Manscaped. If you got a set of nuts on you right now, spam balls down below because we're going to be giving some shout-outs, and we got some awesome products for y'all. Remember, if you go to manscaped.com/chat, you can save 20% off and get free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. Bryant Cowart, I see you down there. Coming up here live on today's show, we're going to go over the latest news and rumors circulating around the National Football League. Got some juicy stuff for you. We got 2 mailbags as always, so use hashtag NFL or you can super chat. Get those questions and comments on the show. I got my starting quarterback rankings. We're going to go from 32, work our way all the way down to 1. Then I'm going to end the live show here on YouTube. So hop on over to Rumble at rumble.com/NFL Daily, where I'm going to do some free agency predictions. I'm going to go through my top 10 free agents that Chat Sports released, and then I'm going to tell you where some of those players like Odell Beckham Jr. are going to sign. So again, y'all, today's show presented by Manscaped. If you want to shout out on today's show right now, ASAP Rocky, start spamming balls because we're going to send this video to Manscaped, and I love making these guys laugh a little bit. So shout out to Nick Fury, Brian Cowart, my guy Juan Hernandez, Zoxy GT. We got Josh Lang, Nick, Jim, Juan, Zoxy, Indo, Jeff Reed, Wum Donkey 24/7, Go Tigers, Wyatt Harris. Appreciate that you guys are all tuning in and watching today's show. One of the rumors that sprouted up over the weekend, I would say, came out around Browns running back Kareem Hunt. He requested a trade. The Browns said no. Do you think Kareem Hunt ends up getting dealt? Type that Y for yes, or you can type your N for no. In about 8 minutes, we will get into the latest news and rumors around the NFL. I just want the audience to build up here a little bit. Think of this as the pre-game warm-ups before tip-off. I need the people to get to their seats and get ready to go. So will Kareem Hunt get dealt? I asked this, and some of y'all are like, well, Mitch, the Browns already said no. Were any of y'all around this offseason? Because there was a lot of, this trade never going to happen. This player not going to get traded. 3 days later, all right, he got traded. And this world of the NFL and this world in general, anything's possible. So type that Y for yes, N for no. Do you believe Kareem Hunt ends up getting dealt? Thomas Schmidt, Wyatt Harris, all typing their N for no. Indo says no. I got a Y coming in from Zoxy GT. Health and Fitness says yes. Shermani Peoples, no. Steve Spicer, no. We got Jeff Reed, no. Restructured probability. He could get his contract restructured, yes. Nick Fury, no. Chula, no. Jonathan is going to type his Y for yes. Remember, if he does get traded, the new team has to take on $6.25 million in terms of salary. The other segment that I'm going to be doing here on today's live show is we're going to be ranking the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm going to go from 32, and I'll work my way all the way down to 1. And the reason why I'm saying starting quarterbacks is because there are some teams that I believe have 2 quarterbacks in the top 32. I'm looking at the San Francisco 49ers in that situation. But who do you believe is going to be number 1 on my list? Who would be number 1 on your list? Who is the best quarterback in the NFL? Is it Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back NFL MVP? Is it Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs quarterback? What about somebody like Josh Allen, an up-and-coming player? Tom Brady, we call him the GOAT for a reason. Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl. Justin Herbert has thrown more touchdown passes his first 2 years than any quarterback in NFL history with 69. Shout out to Manscaped. Who's the best quarterback in the NFL? I want to know from y'all. Wum Donkey says Josh Allen. Indo says Josh Allen. A lot of votes coming in right now for Allen. I'm actually surprised that it's a split between Mahomes and between Allen. Somebody just said Jalen Hurts, but I think you're way too drunk to taste this chicken. Justin Fields for Jerome. I think now you guys are just shouting out who your favorite quarterback is. Vince says Rodgers. To me, there is a 4-way where you can talk about potential QBs, and shout out to Manscaped for making 4 ways possible. All right, today, y'all, is National Custard Day, and when I'm on NFL Daily, when I'm doing my shows here at Chat Sports, I don't want to just talk about sports. Don't get me wrong, I love sports. It's my life, but I also want you guys to see what's going on in the world, and the better you get to know me, the better I can also get to know you. So today is National Custard Day. If you had to pick between chocolate or vanilla? Where are you going, right? There's two people in this world. There's people that pick chocolate, and there's people that pick vanilla. There's also two people in this world. There's people that say that they don't pee in the shower, but they're just lying because everyone pees in the shower. And if you don't, you're a liar. C for chocolate, B for vanilla. Juan Hernandez, vanilla. Y Big Jordan, chocolate. Nick Fury, chocolate. We got Andy, I'm sorry, man, I can't pronounce your last name. Andy with a K, chocolate. Lester says both. All right. V sober. So vanilla sober, that's funny. But chocolate when he's drunk for Jeff. You know what? Jeff, I respect that answer because I'm kind of with you there. Jerome says strawberry. Okay. Wyatt's going to go with both. David Taken says chocolate. Jim Lacey, chocolate. Steve's going to go chocolate. Okay. I see we're definitely. Why Big Jordan says, no, I don't pee in the shower. The toilet is right there, fam. Shit. There are some times that I hold it to wait until I go in the shower to enjoy it more. You're telling me you don't pee in the shower? I think I'm going to call you a liar. It's all right, though. All right, since we are talking about quarterback rankings, who is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL? And when I think of overrated, that doesn't mean that they are in the top 5. Might not even mean that they're in the top 10. But when you think of overrated quarterbacks in the NFL, what is the name that comes up to you? And for me personally, when I think of overrated, I do think that sometimes people overrate Dak Prescott a little bit. I think sometimes Kirk Cousins can get overrated here a little bit. And then when I hear people talking about Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, it depends who you talk to, and I totally understand that. But who do you believe is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL? Donkey's going to go with Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray from Brett. I think that's a good answer. Robert Griffin from Nick. We got Dak from Steven, Russell Wilson from Hooper, Mindless Monk, Kyler Murray, Dak from Juan Hernandez, Lamar Jackson from Matthew Frey. John Ruiz says Tua Tagovailoa. Well, let me know. Who is the most overrated quarterback in the National Football League? All right, y'all, I'm ready to get into today's news and rumors. That's coming up here on NFL Daily. We're looking at Jimmy Garoppolo because I think a lot of 49ers fans should have a certain date circled on their calendar. Could be the day Jimmy G gets cut. 2 mailbags, hashtag NFL or Super Chat to guarantee yourself a spot on the show. Next to me, send in a super. We'll let you skip that line. NFL quarterback rankings on YouTube. Then I'm going to end the show, and we're going to hop on over to Rumble, where I'm going to give you my NFL free agent predictions for the top 10 free agents out there. Y'all ready to get this show on the road? I hope so. If you are ready to get this thing started, to get the party going, let's get those likes up. I see 35 likes and 115 people watching. Come on. Something's not adding up there. Like the video right now, because coming up right now here on NFL Daily, we're getting ready to get into the latest NFL news and rumors. You're watching NFL Daily. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. And coming up here on today's show, the latest NFL news and rumors. We're first going to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Could he get cut on a certain date? Circle this on your calendar. Kareem Hunt trade. Is it going to happen? Odell Beckham Jr. to the Bills. Oh, man. And then at the very, very end, we got some trending NFL news that I believe every single person that follows the league needs to know. Let's first kick this thing off, though, with the San Francisco 49ers quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. And there's a report out there that the 49ers are willing to keep Jimmy G until the roster cut-down day. Friendly reminder that the NFL teams go from 90 to 85, 85 to 80, and then on August 30th, final cut-down day where you go from 80 all the way down to 53 players. We knew that the 49ers plan when they were going forward. When you give up the amount of draft capital that they did to go get Trey Lance, that's the future, and that's okay. And nobody's really going to sit here and say that Garoppolo hasn't done a good job. 25-12 record over the past few seasons, 3 seasons. Got them to the Final Four last year, went to the Super Bowl in 2019. But Trey Lance is upside. Jimmy Garoppolo is safe haven. Now, this is what Ian Rapoport had to say on Garoppolo. From my understanding, the 49ers are willing to wait all the way to cut down day. In fact, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for the 49ers to let's say, move on from Jimmy Garoppolo now because what if another quarterback gets hurt? It sounds like they are going to hold on to him as long as possible just to see if any trade market develops before eventually and likely moving on from him. So essentially what I saw out of that is the 49ers are hoping for a major quarterback injury. Not that anybody likes to see a QB get injured, but you have to be able to face the fact of preseason, training camp, injuries are going to happen. And if there's an NFL team out there that believes, you know what, our win now window is right here. We need to take advantage of this. And if their quarterback goes down, there's a team. There's a contender. Because unfortunately, unless that happens, I don't see anybody making a deal for Garoppolo because you're going to have to take on $24.2 million. Good quarterback. That's a lot of money to ask for right now, with considering the fact that the team that might need him the most is in their division, and that's the Seattle Seahawks. So predict it for me, y'all. Every single time you come across the Chat Sports Show, I want you to think that you and I, the team, we're all sitting down. If you're over 21, having a beer. If you're under 21, I don't know about y'all, man, but when I was growing up, my family reunions were packed with football discussion, packed with sports discussion. NBA, it did not matter. So if we ask you a question, I would really appreciate it if you let me know in the comments. So where's Jimmy Garoppolo going to play this upcoming season? Coming up next here on NFL Daily, will the Browns trade away Kareem Hunt? It's a good question. I don't have the answer for it. Well, I might have it. But first, if you haven't given us a follow yet on Rumble, please make sure you do so. Rumble.com/NFL Daily, or I'm going to do my best Vanna White impression. Get out your phone right now. Get out the camera. Just like you would scan it for a restaurant or a menu, I'm all about QR codes now. You scan that bad boy, it's going to take you right to Rumble. Give us a follow. Why? You can listen to NFL Daily like a podcast. If you're watching on YouTube and you minimize the screen, show stops. But if you're over on Rumble, not only is it ad-free, you can minimize the screen, put it in your pocket, and keep on listening to the show. Personally, I think that's pretty damn cool. Now let's talk about Browns running back Kareem Hunt. And there's a trade coming for him. Well, we already know that Hunt has requested a trade from Cleveland. The issue is this. Cleveland has declined his request. If a new team goes out, picks up the phone, says, hey, what about Kareem? Can we get him? I was told by our Browns coverage guy, Matthew Peterson, that Cleveland would look for probably about a fourth-round pick. Not only are you going to give up a fourth, you're going to have to owe him $6.25 million. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Kareem Hunt is a good back. I don't think people would dispute that. He won Rookie of the Year when he came out in 2017 out of Toledo. He had 272 carries, 1,327 yards, 8 touchdowns. Had some off-the-field issues, some domestic violence stuff, and now had a little bit of an injury-riddled season last year in Cleveland. But the one thing that Hunt can do that a lot of people are looking for in today's NFL is not only a back that can run between the tackles, not only a back that actually does a halfway decent job in pass protection situations, but also a back that can catch the football. And that's what Hunt brings to almost any single NFL team out there. Sure, he's coming off career lows and 22 catches, only 174 yards, no touchdowns. But if you are a team that wants to go maybe with either a running back by committee or thinks, you know what, our tight end situation isn't all that great, we need a safety blanket to just pick up some extra first downs, Hunt becomes an interesting person to think in mind. So anytime I see trade rumors, right, my mind instantly goes to, all right, who are some teams that could potentially make a deal for him? Because this season, this offseason, even though the Browns have declined the trade request, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, think about how many times this year alone this player's not going to get traded. Head coach says, no way we're going to trade that guy. You wake up the next morning and he's gone. So here to me are the top 5 teams most likely, not saying they're going to make the deal, most likely to trade for Kareem Hunt. It's the New Orleans Saints, Los Angeles Rams, Atlanta Falcons, Tennessee Titans, New England Patriots. Maybe you totally disagree with me. Guess what? I'm okay with that. Why? I want to create discussions. I love talking about the NFL. I love talking about sports. Personally, I think it's really boring when people agree with me all the time. I would rather us argue. So here's your opportunity to argue with me in the comments. Where's Kareem Hunt going to play in 2022? Another free agent that always gets popped up around here is Odell Beckham Jr. Because, make the argument, he's the top free agent out there right now. And could he potentially go to Buffalo? Von Miller is recruiting him. And if you remember, when Von Miller signed with the Los Angeles Rams, what happened? Von Miller went on his phone, started FaceTime with Odell Beckham Jr., was able to recruit him to go to L.A. Von Miller's doing the exact same thing here with Buffalo. So here's a picture of Von Miller's Instagram. As you can see, Odell Beckham Jr. pictured here in a Bills jersey, and it just says OBJ. You know, they're trying to run it back. They want to try to bring a Super Bowl to Buffalo. Von signed a 6-year, big-time deal with the Bills this offseason free agency. And then you look at the comments, okay? Look at some comments here. Von Miller, you know me, I'm lit. Buffalo, OBJ, you've been lit, Von Miller, but the locker room next to you look like, I mean, they're talking to each other. There is conversation here, and if you don't think that Miller right now is recruiting OBJ to Buffalo, imagine that offense. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, OBJ. Yikes. Good luck trying to cover that. So here's my question, y'all. Where's Odell Beckham Jr. going to play in 2022? Do you think he goes to Buffalo, joins forces with Von Miller, tries to win another Super Bowl? Do you think he goes back to Los Angeles? Or is there a dark horse team out there that could potentially land the top free agent still available? If you thought today's NFL News and Rumor Show was done, not so fast, sweetheart. We are going to be breaking down some more NFL news and some more notes today that have been just circulating around the NFL. Essentially, this could be like your one-stop shop of, all right, Cliff Notes version of the most important things that happened today. The Las Vegas Raiders, there was a rumor over the weekend that because Josh Jacobs played so many reps in that Hall of Fame game, that Las Vegas was going to potentially move on from him. Raiders' new head coach Josh McDaniels confirmed the Raiders are not going to trade Josh Jacobs. Another thing that ended up going down today, Justin Tucker, signed a 4-year, $24 million deal, $17 million guaranteed. Tom Downey was actually supposed to do this NFL Live, but saw this and just has yet to mentally recover. Tom's not a kicker person. That's okay. But that type of money for a kicker, I think it warrants this question here. Is Justin Tucker the greatest kicker ever? I'm talking all time. Is he the greatest kicker of all time? Why for yes and for no? And I could go a few different ways with this question. Is he the best kicker in the NFL right now? Yes. Yes, he is. In terms of all time, well, how about this? I don't know if I can give it to him yet, giggity, but I do think that this is trending in the right direction. And I could make the argument that he's the greatest kicker of all time. When you look at the numbers, and the numbers alone, right? Because when I think of a kicker, you got to be accurate, obviously, in field goals. You got to have a big leg, and I want somebody who's clutch. When I think of clutch, I think of a kicker in the postseason. Justin Tucker's got the highest field goal percentage ever. He's got a longest 66. It's the longest ever to win a game. And his postseason numbers are absolutely eye-popping. For all those reasons, yeah, I can make that argument. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here with some NFL news and notes. J.K. Dobbins, good news here for all you fantasy guys and Ravens fans, passed his physical. It was activated from the PUP. He's going to have a chance to play week 1. Dobbins has kind of said that he believes that he's ready to go, that he was disputing a little bit with Ian Rapoport. The Ravens are going to have a run-first offense, and I know J.K. is going to be the RB1, but I could also make an argument that so is Lamar Jackson. More NFL news and notes here. McCole Pruitt may be 4th available tight end out there, so if you know some NFL teams that are looking for tight ends, Pruitt goes off the board. Let's talk about Baker Mayfield. Sounds like he has the inside track to start for the Panthers. That doesn't mean that he's playing well. It just means that he's the best guy there in Carolina, and Carolina is a primetime example of if you got 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks, do you actually have any? But Baker's starting for Carolina, and their week 1 matchup up against Cleveland, get your popcorn ready. Ready, man, I can't wait for that one. Let's talk about Jameis. Famous Jameis last season. Unfortunately for him, got hurt, tore the ACL. He had 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Saints were 5-2. Sounded like he rolled his ankle today. He is going to be undergoing some further evaluation, but after following some of the people that I do that cover the Saints, they don't seem too worried about it, but it is something to at least monitor. Another injury and another player that I've been monitoring very, very closely is Mekhi Becton. I love Becton when he came out of college. I thought this was going to be one of the better offensive tackle prospects in the league. The issue is he put on a little bit of bad weight, has struggled getting rid of some of that bad weight, and today Per Robert Saleh, Jets head coach, limped off the field. He did say that the knee is stable and okay, but when you see the amount of injuries that certain players get, it adds up, it adds up, and adds up. And I do want to keep tabs on Mekhi Becton. I don't know about y'all. I love trade rumors. And anytime I see trade rumors, I'm locked in. Well, there was a report that came out today that the Dolphins are looking to trade away not only Lynn Bowden Jr., who they once traded for, they also are looking to trade Preston Williams. So something to keep in mind from top to bottom. Lynn Bowden Jr., Preston Williams. The Dolphins are looking to move on from some of those guys. All right, y'all, before we get into today's mailbag, I want to know who the better running back is, because anytime I see trade rumors pop up, I think to myself, okay, if they're going to make the deal, does something happen? So who's the better running back? Is it Josh Jacobs, type JJ, or if you believe it's Kareem Hunt, I want you to type KH. Better running back, Jacobs or Hunt? Jacobs or Hunt? Personally, for me, I'm going to type JJ. I don't really know if it's all that close, but there are some people out there. I mean, there you go. Christopher Flores says Kareem Hunt. Light Gaming, Nick, Caden, Kendall, Juan Hernandez, all typing JJ. David, I see your super. We're okay, bro. We check audio. Sounds like maybe you're on mute. I don't know. There's a button on your TV, or you could also just turn up the volume. That would be my best issue. But David,
they're trying to get us.
I see David. I don't think David would do that. He's a loyal watcher. David, it's okay. Maybe somebody took your audio. I don't know. All right, Josh Jacobs, JJ, Kareem Hunt, KH. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments, because coming up right now, we're going to get into our first mailbag. This is your opportunity. Get your questions, your comments up on the screen. So, hashtag NFL or Super Chat. You can ask me about NFL training camp, preseason, fantasy football, trade rumors, free agency rumors, whatever it is that you need. Please submit those questions by using hashtag NFL, or you can Super Chat. You're watching NFL Daily. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, ready and excited to answer all y'all's questions. Friendly reminder, this was recorded on Monday, so if anything happens or changes, please feel free to let me know. First question coming in here is from the RC Plane Builder. Which rookie quarterback do you see having the most success with their teams? It's a good question. I'm always a big believer that you got to have talent around you in order to succeed. I will also say that I'm also a big believer in when you're taken early, you have a better opportunity because your team invests more in you. So for that reason, I'll go with Kenny Pickett because he was drafted at number 20 overall to Pittsburgh. But don't sleep on Malik Willis, man. The Titans do scare me a little bit from a receiver standpoint in the long term, but Malik Willis is the guy who I rank the highest. But also, I think for the short term, it's probably Kenny Pickett. Let's go to Nick Fury, 55. Hey, how are you? You know what, Nick? Not doing too bad, bro. How are you? I want to talk about the Seahawks mock game. Looked like they had played better than Smith. By looking at the stats in the game, is Lock the better option, yes or no? Personally, I do think Drew Lock is a better quarterback than Geno Smith. I do think the reason why Geno has the early leg up, or is the starter from day one, is because he's had the work in this offense in the past. He has, or he should have, better chemistry with Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. But long term, Drew Lock is probably better. But realistically, dude, you can't be very confident in either of these quarterbacks. I don't think either of them is top 25. Next question coming in here is from Evan Henders. What up, my dog? Vikings should call Buffalo and try to get Trey Edmonds. Trey Edmonds is a pretty good player. You're not going to just be able to pick up the phone and get somebody like this. I do think the Vikings have a need on the defensive side of the football, especially in a player like Edmonds, who to me is one of these rare hybrid players that can play linebacker. He can play safety as well, so you can move him all over the football field. It's just, how much money do you think they're going to have to give up? So we are doing this here live on NFL Daily, and I want to know from all y'all watching right now, shout out your favorite NFL team. Are you a Raider fan? Where's the nation at? What about 49ers? I know we got a lot of Cowboys, Seahawks, Titans, Dolphins. We got Vikings fans in the chat. Ravens, let me know who is your favorite NFL team. Let's go to this next one coming in here on NFL Daily from Sloppy Sammy. Wonder why I call you that. Should the Titans try to trade for Kareem Hunt? My answer to this would be no. And if you make the trade, you owe him $6.25 million. Okay, that's off the first. You're probably going to have to give up a 4th-round pick. That's number 2. And I think having a backup for Derrick Henry is good, but I'm not going to have a backup at $6.25 million for Henry, a running back who, I get it, is coming off an injury, but they call him King Henry for a reason. I want him out there on the field as much as humanly possible. Super chat time. This one is coming in from my guy David Taken, Seabass the GOAT from Raider Nation. So I asked the question earlier, Justin Tucker or Seabass? Seabass was good, but the numbers, they support Justin Tucker a little bit more in terms of being the better overall kicker. Why, Big Jordan, you're next up here, my dog. What's up, Mitch? My question is, why isn't there a quarterback better than Matt Golden Corral? Is getting ugly here, sadly. The GOAT is the God, or the GOAT is the GOAT. I actually like Matt Corral, and I think anytime you suffer an injury when he did, it's super unfortunate because you're in a bowl game. You want to see how he can end up doing. But why is their quarterback better than Matt Golden Corral? I don't know, dude. Carolina right now is an absolute shit show in terms of overall quarterback talent. Jeff Reed, what is more likely, the Browns not having an offseason catastrophe or the Lions win the Super Bowl? What is more likely? Oh, boy. I guess Browns offseason catastrophe, just because the Lions aren't going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon. They got Jared Goff, man, and I just don't see it. I'm hoping that the Browns don't have an offseason catastrophe next offseason. I actually kind of feel bad for a lot of Browns fans because they've always been the team that you can't really hate on Cleveland because of how bad they've been. You're rooting for them through and through. But now the fact that they went out and got that guy, Deshaun Watson, I can't root for him. I'm sorry. There's no chance in hell I'm rooting for the Browns to succeed this upcoming season. If you want more content from Chat Sports, give us a follow on Rumble. How do you do that? All you got to do is go to rumble.com/NFL Daily. You can watch our videos ad-free. You can also listen to them like a podcast. So if that interests you because you're a busy guy, I'm a busy dude too. When I'm walking my dog Chuck, I can't just sit there and watch him, right? While I'm walking. No, you can't do that. You put the phone in your pocket, you listen to it like a podcast, and you keep on going about your day. If that sounds good to you, give us a follow, rumble.com/NFL Daily, or rewind a little bit and scan that QR code. Eli Large, what up, my guy? Do you think Garrett Bradbury starts week 1? So you're talking about Vikings starting center Garrett Bradbury as it stands right now. The reports aren't good, man. If I was Minnesota with as much concentration as you have around Kevin O'Connell, as much concentration as you have on that offense in general, if there was a player like J.C. Treader, I would do everything I can to get J.C. Treader to Minnesota because Garrett Bradbury, he ain't it. To stay up to date on everything going on around the National Football League, the best coverage on YouTube. Not only are we interactive, not only are we free, we keep you up to date. We do mailbags like this, so if that interests you, hit that sub button. Let's go to Stevie. Steve, I don't know. Do you think that the Bills should pick up OBJ? If you have an opportunity to get Odell Beckham Jr., you do it. Now, obviously, I don't know what he wants in terms of money. I don't know if he's going to be healthy by week 1. But if I'm Buffalo, okay, and I lost the game that I did last season to Kansas City in that shootout, I think, how the heck can I compete with the Chiefs? I need more firepower. I would try to bring as much offensive talent as I can to build around Josh Allen, because then if you get by Kansas City, you get by the Bengals and some of these other top teams in the AFC, what happens if you've got to take on the Rams? Because I think if he doesn't go to Buffalo, the next most likely team for OBJ, probably the defending Super Bowl champs, the Los Angeles Rams. Vince, what up, my dog? Which offensive rookie impressed the most so far? It's kind of a tough question for the simple fact of I haven't seen any of these guys in preseason. If you want my sleeper pick, I'm trying to think of his name exactly, but it's the Chiefs running back Pacheco, I believe is how you pronounce the name. Sounds like he's been getting a lot of the work with the first team. One of my buddies who works close with the Chiefs told me that they could be using him like the way that they used Jerick McKinnon last season. So if you want a sleeper for fantasy teams, Pacheco, the running back for Kansas City. I've heard a lot of good things about him. The RC Plane Builder. Should the Falcons pursue a trade for Kareem Hunt and sign Ndamukong Suh? I'm going to say no to both of these for the simple fact of you brought back Cordell Patterson. He's your running back. And a lot of times, fans don't like to hear this, but the Falcons are not in win-now mode. They are not a team that's going to win a lot of football games this season. I would put them in my bottom 5. For that reason, you build for the future. Kareem Hunt's not going to help you get it that much better. And Ndamukong Suh probably fills a need on your defensive interior, but these are teams that aren't going to compete as far as I'm concerned for actually winning something. What up, Larry Lapper? Should the Falcons just say F it and give the reins to Ritter for the year to see what he has, and if he's not good, then draft a quarterback round 1 in 2023? Now, personally for me, I'm team let Marcus Mariota test out the waters because this allows you, your rookie quarterback, Desmond Ritter, to learn behind somebody very comparable to him and just try to absorb as much of the offense as you can instead of throwing him out there to the Wolves and getting feasted on. Because I do believe if you do that too early, it can really screw up with the quarterback psyche. I personally would take a page out of what the Chiefs did with Patrick Mahomes. I would take a page out of the book of what the 49ers are going to do with Trey Lance here. You let Mariota rock and roll this upcoming season, but if he's like grandma getting out of the tub bad Mariota, then who knows? You might see Ritter a little bit later on. But what do you guys think? Who starts here for Atlanta? If you were running the team, would you trot out the rookie, Desmond Ritter from Cincinnati, or would you go with the NFL vet out of Oregon? He's bounced around the NFL here a little bit, got with the Titans, was with the Raiders the past 2 seasons. DR for Desmond Ritter, MM for Marcus Mariota. All right, what up, Johan? Appreciate it. Do you think Stephen Ross will sell the team after the scandal that involves with tampering Tom Brady and Sean Payton? I would say unless he is made to sell the team, no. Because I bet you Stephen Ross probably doesn't think he did anything wrong. A lot of times when you see situations like this, I don't really think that they feel bad or they think they did anything wrong. They just got caught. So, no, I don't think Stephen Ross sells the team unless he's made to sell the team. Jeff Stamps, 100% healthy. Who are you taking, Jonathan Taylor or Derrick Henry? I'm going with King Henry. If you were to tell me for one season and one season alone, I'll probably go Derrick Henry. If I got to build my running back room for the next 3 seasons, I'll go with Jonathan Taylor. I love Taylor when he first came out of Wisconsin. I think he's actually a lot better at catching the football than people give him credit. Personally, I think Taylor's a better ball catcher, giggity, than Derrick Henry is right now. Henry is more physical, and it might depend on what type of offense you're trying to run. But long-term, next 3 years for a running back life cycle, I'll say Jonathan Taylor this upcoming season. If they both play 17 games, yeah, I'm going to go with King Henry. If you want even more takes on social media, places like Instagram, like on Twitter, I'm posting stuff all the time around the Raiders, fantasy football, NFL news, and rumors updates. And if that interests you, remember, the DMs are open, so slide in at Mitchell Renz 365. What up, JK? Are you kidding? Do you see the Cardinals being in the mix for a spot or fighting with Seattle to stay out of last place? I would say they're more likely to be fighting for a spot than to be in last place. Like, the Seahawks, to me, are arguably the worst team in the National Football League. And then it's really going to come down to what Trey Lance is. If Trey Lance takes a leap forward, that 49ers team's going to scare some people. If he's not ready to take that next step, 49ers could be down there a little bit. I would say Arizona is going to be a team that's going to be around 9 to 10 wins this upcoming season. Thomas Schmidt, what is the biggest sleeper team coming into the season? Biggest sleeper team entering the season? You know, I'm going to go with Baltimore, and I'm going to say the Ravens for the simple fact of they were the number 1 seed in the AFC last season. And then Lamar Jackson got hurt. I get that some people want to rip on Lamar. I get that that offense is a lot of times unsexy. But Lamar's an absolute nightmare. So when I think of sleeper team, a team that didn't make the playoffs, a team that's getting disrespected a little bit, I'm going to say the Baltimore Ravens. Coming up here on NFL Daily, y'all, we're going to be doing some quarterback rankings. I'm going to go from 32. I'm going to go all the way down to 1. I got these quarterbacks power ranked. Before I get into who is the best quarterback in the league and who's the worst QB in the league, I want to know which QB do you think is the most overrated? Which quarterback, when he comes up in a discussion and he gets ranked somewhere, you're like, nope. Like the new movie, no chance. I saw that preview to that new Key and Peele movie, or what is it? Is that Key and Peele? Jordan Peele, excuse me. I was like, nope. I don't know. I don't watch movies. Producer Jack in the background, he's a movie buff. No chance I'm watching that movie. Why? I don't like scary movies. So which quarterback in discussions are you just like, no chance, man? I see Baker Mayfield from CVG Tanner, Dak Prescott from Sterling Alba, Andre Cross says Derek Carr, Nick Fury 55, Robert Griffin III. All right, interesting. Dak from Sterling. Every quarterback on the Panthers not named Matt. Why Big Jordan? Okay. Dak or Lamar from Steven, Baker Mayfield from Chua, Lamar from Darko, Rodgers from Robert Bruce. That's a hot take. Justin Herbert from Marcos, Josh Allen from the Bills, and more Josh Allen's coming in. All right. So I'm going to get a sip of water here. If you want to see where I have your quarterback ranked, stay tuned. If you're having a good day, like the video.
I loved Nope, for the record.
You liked it? Oh, man, I don't know, Jack. I'm kind of a baby when it comes to that stuff. I don't think I could do it. If you got a pair of balls on you, like the video, because coming up right now, we got our NFL quarterback rankings presented by Manscaped. Quarterback rankings time. I'm going to rank every single starting quarterback from 32 all the way down to 1 before I reveal my quarterback rankings, of course. I got to tell you that today's show is presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat where you can save 20% off and get free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. Personally, I recommend the Lawnmower 4.0. So what I figured I would do here is I did NFL power rankings last week. So it's like, all right, let's up the ante a little bit here. Let's go to quarterback rankings. So not only am I going to predict the starting quarterback for all 32 teams, I'm going to rank them. So let me know, y'all, who is your starting quarterback, your favorite team out there? Because a lot of times in this chat, and I get it, and I love that you guys have your QBs back, as you should. I want to know when I go back later on in this video, and I look through the comments, who your favorite quarterback is on your favorite team. That way, I can understand the arguments that you're creating. Coming in here at number 32, the worst starting quarterback in the league is Geno Smith. If Drew Lock was on this list, he probably would also be at around 32. Either way, it's not a great situation in Seattle. Coming in here at number 31, I'm going to go Davis Mills. And I actually saw a lot of growth out of him last season, and I'm hoping that growth continues to go. But there is something called a sophomore slump, and I am worried that since defensive coordinators are going to have a little bit more tape on him, he might not be as effective. At number 30, it's the New York Jets quarterback Zach Wilson. I saw reports that he looks worse than Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is my mortal enemy. It's literally the reason why I made my Twitter. You don't believe me? Go all the way back to my first tweet. It's about Joe Flacco. On top of that, I didn't like what I saw last season. And the Jets, to me, yes, they have a lot of good pieces. I just don't see it with Zach Wilson. I'm sorry. At number 29, we're going to go to the NFC South here. It's Marcus Mariota. He's not the Heisman Trophy candidate like he once was in Oregon. He's not that great player that he once was in Tennessee. He's got a lot of injury issues, but I do think he's getting a legitimate chance here with some big receivers. The one thing that Mariota's always done well is high-pointed the ball. He's got Brian Edwards, Kyle Pitts, some big receivers down there in the ATL. So if you want to join the family, because that's what Chat Sports is, we're a family. And just like I'm sitting up here talking sports, that's what I do at home with my family. So to make sure you never miss any news, never miss any rumors, if breaking stuff happens, we got you covered. So hit that sub button, turn on those notifications. That way you never miss a video. Number 28 here, it's Carolina Panthers quarterback Baker Mayfield. He is technically the front runner here. Probably going to be the starter. Either way, it's not a great situation in Carolina. Coming in at number 27, I'm going to go with Mitch Trubisky. I've seen reports that Mason Rudolph right now looks the best. I get that the fact that they got Kenny Pickett in round 1. I just think that they signed Mitch Trubisky for a reason, and he's going to end up suiting up in the Steel City. Number 26 on my quarterback rankings entering 2022, it's Jared Goff. There hasn't been a lot of talent there in Detroit. I like the addition of Jamison Williams. I like the addition of DJ Chark. I do think you're going to see a better Jared Goff than what you've seen in years past. But, hey, that's not saying a lot. I saw this video trending the other day on social media where Daniel Jones threw the ball out of bounds. I thought he was going to hit somebody in the stands. Now, our Giants host, Marshall Green, said, he's throwing it away or else it's going to get picked. He's probably right. It's just the internet overreacting. I've never been a fan of Daniel. I've never been a big-time believer in Jones' ability since he's come out of Duke, and that's not going to change today. Number 24 on my list is Tua Tagovailoa, and Tua to me is one of these QBs where it's very split. And this is the prove-it year. You are going to finally see how good he is because You can't make up any more excuses. Not only do you have Jalen Waddle, who broke the rookie reception record last year, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Mike Gesicki. You should have a good running game. You upgraded your offensive line. All I know is this is a make or break year for Tua. Number 23 on my list is Carson Wentz. And this is honestly probably the point of my rankings that I had the most difficulty with. Because from 23 to 15, I felt like I could have mixed and matched with all of these guys. At number 22, it's Trey Lance. I'm a little bit lower on Trey Lance than some other people out there. I know the upside is legit. He has legitimate top 10 quarterback talent, legitimate top 10 upside. But his throwing motion scares the hell out of me. And I think you're going to see some growing pains for Lance. That's why he's number 22 on my list. At 21, it's famous Jameis. And this might be a little bit disrespectful of some people. But when I think about my quarterback rankings, I think of who do I want to take me to the promised land? Who do I want in the fourth quarter? 2-minute drill, 4th and goal. I don't know if I can count on Jameis Winston in those big-time situations. Before I get into my top 20, y'all, remember today's show presented by Manscaped. Use code CHAT at manscaped.com/chat for the best male grooming products out there. The tool that I recommend more than any is the Lawnmower 4.0. How many people out there shave? And you can be honest with me. I know I shave weekly. And it's important to make sure that you're getting a good high-quality shave because the worst feeling in the world for me is if I'm rushing and I'm trying to shave down there with a bad razor and I get that chafe, you get those red bumps, that's miserable. Not only is it uncomfortable, but, dude, it itches too, and I do not want any part of that. That's why you get the Lawnmower 4.0. Clean shave, you're not going to get those irritating bumps. And I'm a big fan of their boxers, dude. They have the most comfortable boxers that I have ever worn. Swear on my life on that. And they got this thing that right in the front of the package. It's called the Family Jewels Holder. Why? It holds the jewels in place. So take advantage of our deal. 20% off. Manscaped.com/chat. Let's go to number 20 on our list. It is Justin Fields. And here's another player that's based on upside. He's got the legs. He's got the arm talent. I'm hoping that with a offensive-minded coach, or not offensive-minded head coach, Eberflus' defense, but with somebody who has a brain. How about that? Matt Nagy was bad. I think with a good-minded coach, you actually see what you could see from Justin Fields. At 19, it's Mac Jones, another second-year quarterback. He was efficient last season. I think he's a game manager, and that's not a knock on him. There's a lot of quarterbacks that have made their entire career on being a game manager. You can win football games, but the talent and the upside is limited. Last season was a disaster in Jacksonville. Let's call it what it was. Urban Meyer was a joke, and he pissed away his rookie season with Trevor Lawrence. I saw the talent. I think he's a great leader. Since the day he's come out of high school football, you knew Trevor Lawrence was built different. And if I was building a team right now, he'd be one of the top quarterbacks I'd be looking at. Coming in at number 17, we're going to go back to some veterans here. It's Ryan Tannehill. And 2 years ago, I was like, man, Tannehill's taking a turn. He looks like he could be a top 10 quarterback. He was super efficient. Last season, he lost Julio Jones. A.J. Brown battled a few injuries, and the real Ryan Tannehill, I think, stood up. Therefore, I can't put him in my top 16. Speaking of number 16, we're going to stick here in this division. It's Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan has been just the face of the Atlanta Falcons for a long, long time. Now he's in Indy. He gets to see a brand new offense. Going to be a run-first offense with Jonathan Taylor. He right now is like the middle of the pack for me. At number 15, it's Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles starting quarterback. And I made a bet last year with Jeremy Chuggs that Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr would have more touchdowns than Hurts. Hurts was really impressive. And right now, if you play fantasy football, I can make an argument he's top 5 quarterback. But from a throwing progression standpoint, it's not there yet. He needs to make quicker decisions. At number 14, it's Kirk Cousins. Mediocre. That's what Kurt is. But the amount of talent he has with Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, and with a brand new head coach in Kevin O'Connell, throw away Mike Zimmer, who did not get along with Cousins at all, you're going to see a lot better Cousins this upcoming season from a statistical standpoint. But if the game's on the line, nobody believes in Kirk Cousins. Coming in here at number 13 is my favorite quarterback, at least it's my guy who runs my favorite team. It's Derek Carr, and I know a lot of people are going to hate on me for this because I am a Raider fan, but when I really think about the overall talent level, DC has been good at times, but he's only been good. I can't put him up in the top 10, can't put him in the elite category, but he does have legit MVP upside because of the division he plays in, and he's now with his best friend in Davante Adams. All right, y'all, so when you think about quarterback play, I also want you to think about divisions. And which division do you think has the best overall quarterback talent, right? 8 divisions, because coming up here on NFL Daily, I am going to rank every single one of the divisions. So coming in here at number 1, it's the AFC West. I believe with Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, that's the best in the league. Then you go to the AFC North, led by Joe Burrow. NFC West, Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray. AFC East, if it wasn't for Josh Allen, this one might be the worst. NFC East, a lot of mediocre, but nobody's really elite. NFC North, NFC South, and then to round out the list, sorry AFC South, but it's just, it's not pretty down there. Let's go to the NFC West, where I got Kyler Murray coming in at number 12. Just got a brand new fat paycheck. My concerns about Murray have always been the same. I think he's a child. I know people that know him personally, where I'm living now in Dallas, Texas, and he's a kid. That's why you saw the clause in his contract, and he probably threw a hissy fit that it was in there, which is why it isn't in there anymore. But he does have a lot legitimate talent. Number 11 here, former MVP, it's Lamar Jackson, and man, this was tough. This was really tough, and we'll just go to the next one here at number 10. It's Dak Prescott, and this is tough because I flip-flopped this one so dang much. Lamar had some really good numbers, but Jackson did scare me last season. Are the numbers bad because he just lost some talent on offense? He wasn't healthy. Dak, to me, doesn't always pass the eye test, but the numbers are there. You're going to see a lot from these two quarterbacks here. Number 9 is Deshaun Watson, and some of you are like, well, wait, Mitch, I thought you were predicting the starting quarterbacks. I am. And until Watson gets suspended for a full season, which is where I think that he should be, he is technically the Browns starting quarterback. I'm not basing this off week 1. I'm basing this off the starter. I think Deshaun Watson, from a talent standpoint, deserves to be higher on this list, but since he didn't play last season and I didn't see it, I got to put him at number 9. Top 8 time. Let's get into my NFL quarterback power rankings here. Coming in at number 8, it's Russell Wilson. And Wilson, I think, has done a phenomenal job doing what he's done in Seattle, putting a Band-Aid over a lot of, to be honest, bad drafting choices, a lot of bad roster decisions that Seattle has made. He's going to get a really good opportunity in Denver, though he's lost one of his top options in Tim Patrick. Number 7 here is Matthew Stafford. He won the Super Bowl last season, put up phenomenal numbers, 41 touchdowns, sure the 17 interceptions. I am seeing reports that he's got a little bit of a shoulder issue or an arm issue that you would see in more of a baseball player, not so much of a football player. But I do think he deserves a lot of respect considering the fact of everything he went through in Detroit and how much success he had in Los Angeles. Number 6 on my list here is going to be Justin Herbert, and he's got the upside. He has the most passing yards that any quarterback has ever thrown his first 2 seasons in the NFL. It's not really close. The most passing touchdowns in the NFL through his first 2 seasons at 69. Next closest is Dan Marino. He's got the offensive firepower there. Herbert is number 6. The guy that he was drafted after, Joe Burrow, he's number 5. And if you were to ask me which quarterback do I think reminds me the most of Tom Brady, I'm going to say it. It's Joe Burrow. It's Joe Cool. It seems like nothing phases this kid. He's got Jamar Chase. He's got Tyler Boyd. He's got T. Higgins. He's got a really good offense. Personally, I think his head coach is kind of a coward. And I think if you put him on a more daring head coach, they would be a lot more successful offense. But Joe Burrow, to me, is a top 5 quarterback. Now, y'all, you could probably pinpoint the top 4. Some of y'all probably aren't surprised whatsoever. But before I tell you my top 4 quarterbacks and who I believe is the best QB in the NFL right now, give me a follow on Instagram. Give me a follow on Twitter. Because usually when I do these shows, I look forward to people getting mad at me. I look forward to people telling me I'm wrong and I'm an idiot. I like talking about it, and I will reply to you if you DM me, but you got to give me a follow on Instagram, Twitter, Mitchell Renz 365. Coming in here at number 4, my quarterback rankings, it's Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. Nobody's going to dispute that to me. You're not going to change my mind on this. But in terms of right now, this man is 45 years old. He retired this offseason. He did come back. He's got plenty of firepower there. Chris Godwin, Julio Jones, Mike Evans. Brady led the NFL last season in passing touchdowns and yards. He's still got it. But to me, there are 3 quarterbacks that I would rather have. Coming in at number 3, back-to-back NFL MVP, Aaron Rodgers. He's got the arm strength. He's an incredible player. Best touchdown-interception ratio of all time. He lost Davante Adams. I'm not saying Davante Adams made Aaron Rodgers, but 3 years ago, Rodgers thrown for 26 touchdowns. I do think the touchdown numbers are going to come down just a little bit. Number 2 here on my list, and we can just go to number 1. Let's just go with it. Josh Allen at number 2, Patrick Mahomes at number 1. That game that I watched last season between the Chiefs and the Bills illustrated to me that these two guys are aliens. These two quarterbacks are different. And every other NFL team should be trying to chase to see what these two guys have because it's a cheat code. Josh Allen's ability to run, Josh Allen's arm talent, Patrick Mahomes' ability to escape pressure and throw the ball down the field. I will say there's a lot of storylines around both these QBs because Allen doesn't have Brian Dable anymore and Mahomes doesn't have Tyreek Hill. So you are going to learn a lot about both of these young quarterbacks. So that was it, y'all. My top 32 quarterbacks. I believe Patrick Mahomes is number 1. I can make an argument for Josh Allen. I can make an argument for Tom Brady. I can make an argument for Aaron Rodgers. And hell, I think Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow can make that argument as well. But I want to know from y'all, who is the best quarterback in the National Football League right now? All right, let's wrap this thing up. Shout out to Manscaped. When you look at the quarterback rankings from top to bottom, if you guys want to get some future shout outs, please take a screenshot of these. Post it on Instagram, post it on Twitter. Make sure you tag Chat Sports in it because we will share all of these. And if you want to tag me as well, I will be more than happy to share it as well. Because if you're taking time out of your day to watch what we're doing here at Chat Sports, then I'm going to take time out of my day to show you and prove to you that I appreciate that you made it to the end of the video. All right, y'all, let's give some shout-outs here. Who was the best quarterback in the National Football League? We see Welke says Josh Allen. Sam Saunders, Josh Allen. Why Big Jordan said Matt Corral 1, Josh Allen 2. It's fair. Kidding, very much so. Nick Fury, Russell Wilson, Seahawks fan. Mahomes at number 1 from Thomas Schmidt. Great list from Y Big. We got Josh Allen, Tom Brady from Zealous. Justin Fields from Leo Factor. Aaron Rodgers from Vince. Mitch, you my guy. Why Big Jordan? You my guy. Justin Herbert from Evan Hinders. Jeff Reed says Rodgers for 1 more year. Brady until he officially retires from Mikey. I hear you. I'm not going to sit up here and dispute Tom Brady because realistically, if I'm in a playoff game, if it's 2-minute drill, I'm probably going to go with TB there. All right, y'all, we got one more mailbag, and then we're going to end the live show on YouTube and go strictly over to Rumble. So if you want to get those questions, comments on the show, I'm going to be answering them for the next 15 minutes or so. So the way that this thing goes, you use hashtag NFL, producer Jack take those questions, puts them up on screen, or if you want to guarantee yourself a spot on today's mailbag, which, yes, right up here with me, you can go ahead and super chat. So we're ready to get into today's mailbag. If you haven't liked the video yet, please make sure you do so. You're watching NFL Daily. It's Mitchell Renz here, and I am ready and eager to answer all y'all's questions. Friendly reminder that this video was recorded on Monday, and if you see something new pop up, don't shoot the messenger. All right, let's go to the very first question coming in here from Robert Bruce. I love Mitchell, Coop, Chug, Sam, Jack, Jeff, Brett, Tom, Chase, Harris, and Marshall. Everyone at Chat Sports, sorry Jonesy, Patriots offensive line is playing very poorly so far. Are there any free agent offensive linemen? Patriots offensive line I have heard is struggling. I've also heard, though, that the Patriots in general right now on offense are struggling because the loss of Josh McDaniels, the loss of all like Mick Lombardi, Bo Hardigree, they had a lot of coaches go over to the Raiders. So I think there's a lot of behind-the-scenes crap going on, and I think having Patricia calling the plays does not work out. Any free agent offensive lineman, I think Darrell Williams is your number 1 guy because he can play guard and he can play offensive tackle. What up, Clash with Zeus? Appreciate the DM you sent me the other day. Best wishes to you, your friends, your family. RIP to Ocean World. Can Mahomes do it with no-name wide receivers? I mean, he's done it before without Tyreek Hill, so that's the first thing. He's got Juju Smith-Schuster, who's not a no-name, but he's had some down years. MBS has got a lot of speed. McCole Harmon has a lot of speed. You're not going to be able to replace Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, to me, is the most incredible player that I think I've almost ever seen at the wide receiver position because of how quick he can move. But is Mahomes going to struggle? Yes, but I also think that he is going to develop a little bit more as a quarterback because he has to go through his reads because Hill, to me, actually wasn't that great of a route runner. He just was such an athletic freak that he got open. Evil Larry, you're next up here, my man. Guess how many games Deshaun Watson gets suspended? I think Watson gets suspended the whole season. He should get suspended the whole season. The fact that there are 25 allegations, and I put out a video last week, a few hours later, the NFL decided that they are actually going to look into this a little bit more closely. I'm going to guess an entire season, and then I really personally think it should be even longer than that. But hey, I want to know from all y'all watching right now, how many games will Deshaun Watson get suspended this upcoming season? Currently, it's 6. My guess, though, is he gets suspended the entire season. Marcos Diaz, how is Tua performing in camp? I think it depends who you ask, right? There's going to be Tua truthers out there, and there's going to be Tua doubters out there. I have seen some throws where I'm like, wow, it's a really impressive throw by Tua. I've seen other throws that, oh, man, it's not too good. To me, Tua is doing exactly what you're supposed to do. He's making deep throws. He's performing at an okay rate. The offensive line, though, for Miami does sound like it's struggling a little bit. What up, John Kruger? Buffalo is my Super Bowl pick this season. Thoughts? I think it's a good bet to make. I believe that they are the best team, hands down, in their division. I think they take care of Miami pretty easily. New England doesn't really scare me or seem to be a playoff team this upcoming season. The Jets are, well, the Jets. If Josh Allen continues to get better, if that defense can step up here a little bit, I do think they need to add a few more options to help replace somebody like Cole Beasley. But Buffalo's a good Super Bowl pick. Soul Train, what team fits Kareem Hunt the most? Should the Browns get a player or a pick in return? If I was Cleveland, I personally would want to pick because I'm a little bit higher on Dearness Johnson. I can make the argument that Dearness Johnson is the best RB3 in all of football. You saw when Nick Chubb and Hunt went down last season, Johnson can carry this offense. They have a good offensive line. They got a lot of pieces around it. So personally, I'll take the draft pick. If you were to ask me what teams do I think make the most sense, I'll sit up here and say a team like the New Orleans Saints makes sense. Yes, I understand the Alvin Kamara situation is a little bit cloudy, but New Orleans to me it just makes sense for him. All right, y'all, no balls. If somebody told me no balls, you won't do it, when I was a kid, I'd do it. Shit, I probably still would do it. So I don't think that you're going to subscribe. This is it. This is my sub-read. No balls, you will not subscribe to Chat Sports. This next question is coming in here from Chua Lord. Should the 49ers sign backup quarterback for Trey Lance if Nate Studfield don't do good? First, let's figure out what you got in Jimmy Garoppolo. You move on from Jimmy G. You're hoping that you never see Nate Sudfeld even out there on the field, right? If I was the 49ers, I would be less worried about finding a quarterback that I think can compete, and I'd be more worried about finding a quarterback that I believe could help Trey Lance understand and absorb that playbook, because Lance is the guy. Lance is your future. If you were worried about a good backup, you would just keep Jimmy Garoppolo. So one of the reasons why guys like Ryan Fitzpatrick would always find teams, a reason why somebody like Nathan Peterman always finds a team, is because coaches always say they can pick up a playbook, they can learn it, and they can teach people. That's what I would look for if I was San Francisco. Not somebody that can compete with Trey Lance, but somebody that can help Trey Lance understand that playbook. Nick Fury, 55. How much of an impact would Bryce Young have on the Seahawks if he was drafted by Seattle? I personally believe you saw really good examples last season. That Mac Jones, to me, was not the most talented quarterback, but was put in the best situation. He succeeded. Trevor Lawrence, unbelievably talented, put in a really bad situation, did not succeed. Justin Fields, extremely talented, put in a bad situation, did not succeed. Zach Wilson, not at all that talented, put in a bad situation, was terrible. I think even if you put Bryce Young on the Seahawks team, he's going to struggle because Seattle, to me, is arguably a bottom 5 team right now in the NFL, even with Bryce Young. The Bot 69, could Will Fuller sign with the Ravens to replace Hollywood Brown? If you are looking for speed, personally, I could see the option there in going out and getting a player like Fuller that we know he's talented. When he's on the field, he's electric. The injuries, man, they just rack up, and I don't know if I was Baltimore, if I would sit here and rely on Fuller playing more than 10 games. He had 4 catches last season, 3 of them came in week 1. So personally, I would say no to Will Fuller. There are other better options out there at the wide receiver spot. All right, how many of y'all hit that sub button? Well, how about this? Now I dare you to turn on your notifications. There's 2 people in this world. There's people that take theirs on and run with the challenge, and then there's other people that put their tail between the legs and run the other way. So I dare you, turn on those noties. Let's go to Jim Murphy. What up, Jim? I think the Chiefs are number 1 in the AFC until someone knocks them off. Your thoughts on that? Since he knocked them off last year, so I understand your thought process. The Chiefs probably have the best odds to win the AFC, but I will also say the Bengals, when the Chiefs had Tyreek Hill, to me the Chiefs took a step back this offseason. The Bengals, to me, got better. So if you were to ask me this question, I would say the Bengals are the team right now to knock off in the AFC. Tyler Samples, who will win the starting job, Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield? I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is my pick to win the starting job for the Carolina Panthers. Alexander M., what up, my dog? What key pieces do the Raiders need to have a successful season to make the playoffs and more? You got to build your offensive tackle spot. I get Leatherwood. They want to put him out there. Brandon Parker, he's done for the season. I was told he had a torn triceps, Hasn't technically been official, but he's basically done for the year. So I would say you got to upgrade your offensive line. You need to get some extra linebacker depth. You need to add another defensive tackle. The Raiders did work out Danny Shelton today, who's played in some past seasons with the New York Giants, played in 2020 with the Lions, and then in 2018 and 2019 played with the New England Patriots. Kyle Dowdery, what do you think of George Pickens? I saw the video of him getting drafted. Seems kind of like a weird dude. He is physical. I love the physicality that he brings. He is one of these players to me that a lot of people, I do think, overblew his unathletic traits, right? Like, he doesn't run a great 40 time, but he's going to be a good blocker. He's going to be a physical receiver. I do worry that he could be the next Laquan Treadwell, a player that had some high hype. Now, again, he wasn't drafted in round 1, but Treadwell to me was somebody that was physical, but he was only physical at the college level, and that could never adapt in the NFL. I like George Pickens. He's a fun player and definitely going to be somebody that I keep my eye on. Mikey Sue's for, will the Lions, Browns, or some other team who has never tasted the Super Bowl make it there in the next 5 to 10 seasons? I hate to say it because I'm a Raider fan, but I would say the team most likely would probably be the Chargers. You got your franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert. You were aggressive this offseason by getting Khalil Mack. You got Joey Bosa. You got J.C. Jackson. You got a really good defense there. The offense is pretty legit with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. You got a good running back in Austin Eckler. I would say the answer to this question, and it kills me, is probably the Chargers. Tyrone Johnson, should the Raiders sign Cam Newton? No. I'm just happy you didn't ask that. Should the Raiders sign Cam Newton to play a Taysom Hill role? That question makes me want to rip my eyes out sometimes. No, the Raiders shouldn't sign Cam Newton. I get that he's had ties before with New England, but the worst offense Josh McDaniels has ever run, the only time he's ever finished in the bottom 5 in terms of red zone efficiency, was with Cam Newton at quarterback. The answer to this question is no. If you want to get more Raiders exclusive videos, well, guess what? You can actually join my Raiders community. It's 100% free. How do you do that? You scan this QR code right here, or do you go to that link that you see down there below, RaidersReport.locals.com. If you want to see some videos that I put out, a video that I put out like literally a month ago, but this was for exclusive content only, I said, history suggests that Josh Jacobs won't lead the Raiders in rushing in 2022. If you play fantasy football, definitely something that you should watch. And if you're seeing recently, a lot of rumors going on right now around Jacobs. If you were beyond locals, you'd already know a lot of the stuff. Why? Because that's where I talked about it. Let's go to Danger. Start, bench, cut Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and Trey Lance. Oh, man. I'm going to start Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to bench Justin Fields, and I'm going to cut Trey Lance. Marcos, do the Dolphins sign a center before the season starts? Yes. If you're watching this on Monday, I actually believe they worked out 2 centers today. It's not the big name guy like you're thinking of, like J.C. Treader, but yeah, man, I agree, dude. I believe that they sign a center, but it's because they need to, because what's his name? Who? Connor Williams. Yeah, they signed him from the Dallas Cowboys. They've been working him out at center. This might surprise you if you put a player who's not supposed to be a center at center. Doesn't always work out. So, yeah, I think they signed a center. Alexander M., final question here on this mailbag. Mitch, what are your NFL top 5 Super Bowl teams for this upcoming season? In terms of me being a betting man, I'll bet on the Rams. I'll bet on the Buccaneers because I think those are the top 2 teams in the NFC. I'll put my money on Buffalo. I still think Kansas City is always a threat with Patrick Mahomes. And then I'm probably going to rock and roll with the Cincinnati Bengals, though it does eat me up inside. All right, y'all, we are getting ready to hop over to Rumble. The live show here on YouTube is getting ready to end. If you want even more videos from the Chat Sports team, remember we go live every single Monday and Wednesday talking about NFL Daily. We talk about the NBA. If there is breaking news that is had, we cover it here. Why? It's our job to do so. So please hit that subscribe button. Set a reminder on your calendar that we will be live on Wednesday as well. Now, we are getting ready to end this live show on YouTube. I'm going to hop over to Rumble, so if you haven't already, go to the Rumble chat right now because coming up there, we're going to go through our top 10 NFL free agents. This is a list that Tom Downey revealed a few weeks ago, but we have updated it. And then I figured what I would do is not only give you that list, the updated list, but I would also predict where these players are going to sign. So, join us over on Rumble, exclusively on Rumble, at rumble.com/NFL Daily. We're going to put that link for y'all in the live chat right now on YouTube. That way you can click on it. That way you can join us over there. If you made it this far in the show and you want a shout out, I'm going to give shout outs on Rumble. So go to Rumble, and if you spam Real One, because the Real Ones will go over to Rumble. The Real Ones want extra content. The Real Ones are my ride or die type of people here at Chat Sports. And if you want to join that Chat Sports family, I want to know that you're a real one. Because, I mean, I'm going to be honest, man, I work way too hard. And I want people that I know I can rely on. I want people that I know are always there for me. Reed says, what is Rumble? Rumble is a ad-free place where we can go live. It's kind of like YouTube, if I'm being honest with y'all. But it's uncut. It's uncensored. I can say whatever I want. If you want me to drop some F-bombs, guess what? I can do it over there. So if that interests you, uncut, unraw content, go over there right now, rumble.com/NFL Daily, and let's give some shout-outs. I see Greg537. Greg is a real one over on Rumble. If you want a shout-out here on NFL Daily, I am getting ready to end the show on YouTube, and we're going to give some shout-outs over on Rumble. So appreciate everyone who tuned in to YouTube. We are getting ready to head on over to Rumble now in 3, 2, 1, over on YouTube.